Guardians, and welcome back to unMadeGaming. We are here for part 2 of episode 2 of Ruin Nation. These guys are, in a tangled web of vines, about to find some, let's say, interesting things. So, you last rolled me a threat, James.
Yeah.
So the fun thing about threat is, when you roll a 6, that usually means good things happen. But when you roll a 1, that means there's a threat. And you rolled a 1. Which means there's a threat.
But I rolled 2 6s. Doesn't that mean one of the 6s cancel out the 1?
It doesn't. It just means there's both things. There's good things and bad things. Unfortunately unfortunately for you guys, you are smack dab in the middle of the bad thing. So, before I do some stuff, what are you guys doing?
I wanted to do the know the zone before we went to break.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me know the zone.
I would do that as well.
Go for it.
What the hell? I might as well.
Got one.
Okay.
I'm just gonna try because everyone else is.
Hey.
I got one.
Trying to figure out specifically more about these vines. I've heard through the union, like vibrant color things are always bad.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking at the flowers going,
Hey.
So it turns out that all of you simultaneously stop and realize exactly what you've done. You are now knee-deep, depending on how short you are, knee to chest deep in large, thick vines surrounded by beautiful, multicolored, sweet-smelling nightmare flowers. You all know that the slightest jostle of these will set off a spray of pollen spores that will render you near unconscious.
And I am immediately, Garrett's immediately grabbing Mac like, don't move.
Hector ties a cloth over his face.
Oh, Riven's already got binding totally around his head, so.
Yeah.
The rumbling noise that you thought was thunder, it's still raining, by the way. The rumbling noise that you thought was thunder, or definitely wasn't thunder, still permeates from behind you. Though it is distant, you get the feeling they might not have been chasing you, but you can still hear it moving. And it does sound like it's either it's getting closer and getting further away. So you hear it and it comes in and out like waves, right? Like something's moving back and forth. However, you are stuck in the middle of these vines and need to get through them carefully. How do you plan on doing that?
Turning around.
Still vines in that direction.
I think Riven would roll a. Would you say would be a sneak roll?
Mechanically, you can use a move roll to get through these flowers.
Yeah, I think he would end up doing a move roll on this, seeing if he can get through without jostling them.
Okay. So yeah, if you guys would like to proceed in the direction you were going, you can do so. Just need to make a move roll.
Yeah.
I don't think we can go straight west since there's rot danger here. Yeah, we know from 4. Maybe southwest or just... No, we can't go straight south. Damn it. Stupid exit.
So southwest. Let's go southwest.
I will say
it
is slow going through here, and you are in a rot level 2 area, which means you're going to take about... You can either sprint your way through again and risk those flowers, or you can move slow and risk the extra rot.
Oof. Could I roll a comprehend to try and look at the vines and piece out a safer path for me to take that wouldn't involve me stepping on them or moving the vines?
I will say you can, right? So here's how this works. Mechanically, there is an ability that lets you do that. However, it is unique to the Stalker. For you to do that, you'll need 2 successes to do that, to not discount the ability of the Stalker. So you may roll your comprehend, but you need 2 6s to do what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Go for it, man.
No, not the fuck. Oh, goddamn.
Well, not that.
Right next to the rule. All right. So my comprehend is 3 and 3. Okay.
Close.
You could,
You can push the roll.
I will push the rule.
You succeed. Okay. Well done. So you can find a way that is easier to get through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give everyone a bonus. Actually, because you have an extra success on this, I'm going to give everyone 2 bonus die on their move roll. So you're going to roll move as normal, and then under gear, add 2 dice there. Or actually, I'm sorry, under skill. So it'll say like your base dice, then skill dice, add whatever it is plus 2. So add 2 extra skill dice to move.
All right. So my base is 5. I'm going move, so
Yep.
You want it under gear dice?
5.
Either one. You can roll under skill dice as well. That works fine.
Skill is 3.
there's mine.
Okay.
Well, I got it.
You got
Wow. Jesus.
Nice.
it. Okay. Great. Cool. So, Riven, I don't want to tell you what to write in your journal, but that's a good one.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it seems good.
So, for your interest, right, since you guys all rolled comprehend and you knew what nightmare flowers are, here's what the book says, which is real fun. An area filled with large flowers clinging to every surface, heavy and moist petals, stamens and pistils grow with intense color. If anyone moves through the area, the flowers will exude a cloud of spores with a strong sedative effect. When a victim falls unconscious to the ground, the plant's thorny vines burrow into its flesh and suck the blood out of them. Mechanically, every turn that you are unconscious, you lose 1 strength until you die. Until one of your friends rips you out of the ground. And the only way to get rid of them is by bathing them in fire. So, you literally narrowly escaped your death just now.
In other words, praise the Lord and Savior, RN Jesus.
Yeah. Make sure you avoid this spot on your way back. That being said, it does take you quite some time to get through this, and all of you take 4 rot points.
Oh boy.
Now, what that means is this is a rot attack. Now you need to take the total number of rot and roll me that many d6s that you have, which I believe should be 6. Hector, you are muted.
So we roll 66s.
6 d6s. You're still muted. Boy, howdy. Okay, so this is a tough day for you guys. So, Brahms, you take 1 strength damage.
I'm at 0 strength.
Great, you are broken.
Yeah.
Garrett, you take 2 strength damage.
I am also at 0.
Broken. John, you take 2 strength damage. You are also muted and broken.
I'm broken.
Yep. And you are still muted, James, and roll me those d6s when you get a chance.
So where do we mark broken?
I believe it is on your character sheet. Where is it? Let me see here. Rivet. Let's open yours. So you put that down to... you are... I will tell you what broken does. Give me 1 second. While James fixes his shit here. Trauma. Basically, you are... I think you might have all just died. That's kind of how that works. Oh, that's right. You roll on the critical injury table, which is great. Cool. So, yeah. So when you suffer damage, trauma to strength, you, by external attacks, or this case by rot, if you are broken by damage, you can suffer a critical injury. So all of you that are broken, roll me that D66 button, please.
Can you hear me now, Mike?
I can.
Awesome. I have no idea what happened because it didn't show me on my system I was muted.
Great.
Now, what I wanted to do 7 minutes ago,
Yeah.
what I've got wings. How big are my wings?
Big enough to carry you.
Okay, now only me, or could I carry one other person?
So if you pull up the insect wings card on the Roll20 underneath mutations, it'll tell you everything you can do with it.
Fly up to 100 feet, then you must land. It doesn't say I can't carry anyone.
It doesn't say you can, though. What I will say is you can expend the fly ability, right? Expend 1 MP for the fly ability, and
Yep.
I will let you expend 1 additional MP to carry 1 person.
Could I carry an additional person and a dog?
What's your strength score?
5.
For every MP you spend up to 5, you can you can fly as 1, and then you can spend an additional up to 5 and carry that many number of people.
Fuck.
Woohoo.
This sucks.
It's a rough one.
It
Noted.
is, because I can get out of here faster, but I can't take anybody except one person with me, and I think Garrett's going to get pissed if I leave Mac behind.
I think you should just take the dog.
Just take just the dog.
Yeah. I've had enough of my killing dogs, okay?
If Mag is not near Garrett, these two you would know are inseparable. If they are forced from each other, one of them is going to get very, very erratic.
And I can't give Mac commands because he's not my dog. And I'm not a dog handler.
I can probably look at. I mean, if I know what you're doing, I'll look at Mac, and I'll look at the other two like, stay with them on, like, just try give him like an order, like, point at those two, like telling them like, stay with them. If I know what you're planning on doing.
Yeah, so before we do that and try and get through, so Hector's like, have Mac follow. This is going to be weird.
And I point at you, like I look at Mac and I'm like, point at Hector.
And he grabs Garrett. I spend the 2 mutation points,
Okay.
and I book it 100 feet.
Now, what are you trying to do by doing this?
I am trying to get through faster to avoid more rot and avoid more vines.
Okay, so here's what I'll tell you. The hexes are about a mile.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's a lot longer than I
Yeah.
thought.
And you can get them out of the vines, but you guys have already moved your way through the vines, right? That was a success.
I just can't get us out of the rot any faster.
No. A car, maybe, might be able to help you.
All right. All right. Well, if I can't get us out any faster, then there's no point in doing it.
Okay. In that
All right.
case, I need 66s from you.
66 is...
Mike, can you see
So
the
this isn't
roll?
an endure the zone or an endure check or anything like that, is it?
Nope, it's a rot. Every time you
Okay.
gain rot, you roll to see how much damage you take. Technically, I'm being slightly generous here because as every point you take, you roll all those points. So it would be 3d6, then 4d6, then 5d6, then 66 is how it's supposed to go. But we're just going to do the 66.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're great. Which is good because what happens when your strength reaches 0 is you're knocked out or in paralyzing pain. Which means that you have to now more or less drag the 3 friends you have because they are in agonizing, crippling pain.
Did
from
we
the
all
rot.
get broken?
All 3 of you,
Three of
except
us.
for Hector. And the dog. The dog, Mac can help pull as well. Which is going to be fun.
But we
Running
still,
Garrett just falls over.
Yeah.
we
What's
still have
Garrett?
the crippling
Over
injuries, right?
Yeah, so everyone that failed, you rolled. So I have 1 from Brahms, 1 from John, and I need 1 from Garrett. Click that D66 button for me, please. This could be.
I'm pretty sure I got a bad one.
This could be the end for you guys.
Oh no, crippling injuries are good.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
I rolled
Oh.
mine.
Oh, that's not a good face.
John, you die.
For those that can't see, it was 2d6, both ones.
You rolled. You rolled an 11.
Yeah.
The injury is called last breath. Oh wait, no, you're so lucky. I misread
What?
that. Oh god.
Fuck you, Mike.
You are so
Fuck you.
lucky. Tiny text. It says lost breath. Your critical injury is lost breath.
Fuck you.
To be fair, there are several on here that just kill you outright. 11 is apparently not one of them. Well,
Well, that
John, you
scared
live
me.
another day. You are out of breath. Yeah, you actually got the best roll out of all of them. You are out of
Oh,
breath.
good.
You're still broken, and you're losing your will to fight on. Like you want to leave now. Like all three of you.
I didn't have that will to begin
Yeah,
with.
all three of you want to go home now. The only one that wants to be here is Hector, who just really doesn't want to carry all three of you back to the Ark, I think. So you've lost your breath, John. It's not lethal. There is no time limit on it, and there is no effect needed to be healed.
Wait, what?
You're fine. You're just winded.
Like you got the wind knocked out of you.
Garrett,
You took a sharp hit to the stomach.
Yeah. Garrett, on the other hand, your feet hurt. Like the bones in your toes hurt, and it hurts to move. You have a -1 to all move and sneak rolls until which time you are healed. Roll me 2d6.
Well, thank God I have a lot in move and sneak.
Yep.
Or actually, no, I only have one in move.
Well, not anymore. You will naturally heal from your painful toes in 10 days. You can seek healing back at the Ark to help speed this along. And that last one here for Brahms, you... Good. You're fine. You're more or less fine because you don't use those things. The similar pains that Garrett is experiencing, you're experiencing in your like chest and arms and back. Like it's hard to move your arms upwards. You take a -3 to force and fight and cannot use two-handed weapons. And if you could roll me a d6, please. And you will naturally heal in that number of days.
3 days.
3 days. Man, I almost wish that said, not because I want to kill your character, John, but that would have been rough. That said last breath. That would have been like, you just die.
That was the
Would've been
best. That was the best fuck up on reading I've seen in a while. It's like last breath, you just die. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
whoops,
Yeah.
I meant one letter different. Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
one
alright.
letter different, really. Like, you just die.
Literally, lost breath does nothing.
It does nothing. Yeah. It does nothing at all. It's great.
That went from you die to actually you're fine.
You're just fine. You like
Yeah,
2 1s. It's the best roll in the game. You're fine. You're totally fine.
Yeah,
But
you're okay.
to be fair, like 66 is you have a crushed skull. The description is you die instantly and will never see Eden. Like that's how brutal that description is. You die and also go fuck yourself.
That is 66.
That's a 66. Yeah.
There's no sugaring in the game
Yeah.
at
You
all.
die. You straight
Damn.
up are murdered. Okay.
You're
So
This is interesting because 3 of you are broken. Now, broken doesn't mean you're unconscious like Dungeons and Dragons, right? Well, sometimes it does, but for rot damage, it does not mean you're unconscious. What this means is you're contaminated, right? So if we want to translate this to like a video game term, think of like Fallout, right? Where your bar goes red and it's very hard to get your health up, right? You can decontaminate yourself at the Ark. What this means if you don't is if you engage in combat and take damage, you will roll on the critical failure table every time you take damage. Until on which time you are decontaminated. Which means the three of you can move very little and stay very quiet and hope that Hector can guide you through this place and hope that there's no more rot. Or you can tuck your tail between your legs and return back to the Ark.
And what happens when we max out our rot?
When you max out your rot, I don't think anything happens when you max out your rot. You just, you cannot regain hit points. So there's a level called, there's an area, not an area, there is a thing called permanent rot points. When you are contaminated by the rot, there's a risk that it will stay in your body forever. Every time you are about to lose one rot point, so when you return to the Ark, you'll lose some, roll one base dice. If you roll a 1, the rot stays and becomes permanent. Permanent rot points stay with you for the rest of your life, no matter how hard you scrub yourself. Permanent rot points cannot be used by the rot eater mutation either. So what that means is if you have a permanent rot and you gain 1 rot from being out in the zone, you roll that base dice and you can lose health immediately, right? So every time you gain rot, you roll that number of dice. So if you already have 2 permanent rot and you gain 1 more, now you're automatically always rolling 3 on your first, right? Which means if you roll 1s, you take 3 damage right at the start, which means your adventuring life could be very slim. You guys have 6. Returning back to the Ark can remove some of that. Acquiring rot suits could remove some of that. I will say anyone can right now roll me a know the zone.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll do it.
I'll do it. It's a 4.
Well, you said anyone, so.
Yeah, you can all do it.
Oh, yeah.
Nope.
2.
Nope.
Okay, so Kotan, you know this, and Garrett, you know this as well, and you can explain this to everyone as well. What you guys have discovered is when you first heard the thunder, and as you went through the vines, and where you're going towards now, because I believe that Hector is about to move that token one more time, this unease, this nauseating rot feeling has been consistent. You think, especially you, Garrett, that if you continue in the direction you're going, which feels like the right direction to where you want to go, the rot is going to continue either at this level, if not higher.
If we keep going, the rot will continue. The rot could kill us.
Going, he's just put the hockey mask up. Going which way? Are we going west or are we going south? We need to rest. I can't carry you all back in my condition. I need to sleep. We need shelter for at least a few hours to rest.
Agreed.
And we're saying going west is where I'm feeling the rot is going to be consistent, correct?
You're muted, Mike.
Yeah, we can't
You're
hear you.
right. I am muted. You rolled 2 successes, so what I'm gonna say is, going back the way you came is where the rot is going to be better. Going west, southwest, southeast, probably not going to get any better.
The further we go, either way but back, the rot will continue.
So mechanics-wise, Hector, since you're the one that's the most, alive, You've already cleared the zone you're in, right?
Right.
The hex you're in. So you're at a point where you can move. If you go deeper, the chances of finding the metal men are increased. If you go back, it is safer, right?
If metal men,
You could also have them go back, and you go forward.
they can barely move.
Oh.
Hector looks around for like a stick or something he can use to stick into the ground, branch, something like that, something sturdy. And after a few minutes of doing stuff, he tries to make a warning sign that he saw a stalker do once, and he's not really sure if he's doing it right, but he tries to make sort of like an X and a direction arrow, and he puts it into the ground, and he helps Garrett over Mac, so that Mac can carry him.
Okay.
And he looks at the other two, and he takes his coat off, and he sort of wraps them up, and he just sort of hoists them up, sort of like what you would carry like a baby or an infant in.
Okay.
And he just sort of there were buildings back the other way.
They were.
Rest there for the evening, and then we'll head back. We're not equipped to do this, boys.
No.
Agreed. If we find them, they will kill us.
We don't know what they are. We don't know what anything is. We do know that there's more rot, and the rot will definitely kill us.
Yes.
And since none of you are in a position to argue, fuck yous all, we're going home.
So, in that case,
No complaints from me.
Hector,
Come for me.
move your token where you'd like to go.
Can I just move it back to the arc?
No.
Okay.
You still have to get there. That was a good try. You can
it
still
was
die.
worth asking.
You can still die on the way back.
We can't fast travel.
You cannot fast travel.
It was worth asking. I knew you were going to say no. It was worth asking.
There is
how
so
can I...
to be clear, there is a fast travel mechanic, right? The fast travel mechanic is if the session ends and you are not returned to the zone, every hex that you have, every day you have to travel, which is about 3 hexes, or 3 or 4 hexes, I think. You will all roll food, water, and grub, food, water, and bullets, and you will lose that many, right? You'll have a chance to lose them. It costs resources to get back. So the goal is to finish your session back at the Ark, because if you don't, you may have no goods to start your next adventure, and you may have to beg, borrow, and steal to get them. So yes, where would you like to go, Hector? You know that
well,
if
you
you
just ping
move,
the map.
I believe if you move right here, that's where you came from, I think.
Yeah, that's where the buildings were,
That's
correct?
where the vines are.
Yeah.
The building, the one single, like that weird hut that you heard the rumbling at, is right over here. Right over here.
Okay.
The metal tube is right over here.
We want to avoid the metal tube. That we know there is rot there as well.
Yeah. We could try going around to the left.
Yeah, I believe that the skin den was like over here.
Yeah.
This is a bonus question. Can I tell if Hector is like upset about this or anything? Like if he wants to continue anything?
He's disappointed. Like this, he works for the union. This was his days off. This was his time to relax. He didn't have any assignments. Riven came to him in the bar and said, "Hey, we're doing this. Why don't you come with?" And this happened.
Yeah.
So he's disappointed, but he's sort of happy because he's not normally this far from the Ark. So he's sort of a mix of emotions right now. But his eyes are pretty dead from injuries, so it's hard to tell.
And I think as that happens, Garrett will kind of pat him, like, as far as he can, lean in on Mac and just
his calf, basically.
Yeah. Remember, information is just as powerful in the Ark.
Hector's trying to figure out which way to get out of here. Because he needs to get back to shelter. But there's really no shelter around.
At least nothing.
I'm going to do a scout check.
Any way I can have Mac do it? I mean, I can.
You could do sick dog. I could pick you up off Mac.
So the way this works, right? You don't have a high vantage point, so scouting only scouts in the hex you're in.
In the zone.
Right.
Oh,
well,
okay.
In your sector, right? So if you have a high vantage point like a tall building, you can scout the other ones and get like an idea of what could be in those. But from where you are, you can't see into the other hexes because they're about a mile away, right? So you just literally can't see that far.
He's tall. He's not that tall.
I would say we could try northwest.
You could.
It's about our only option, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you move northwest?
Yeah.
Great. The bright side is that it is dawn's first light, which means it's not technically nighttime anymore. However, I still need you to roll me a threat. It is level 4. A 6 and a 1. Dope. So you get here. What you see here is the thing you find is a you see this large metal like signpost and a cage that leads to a tunnel that leads deep underground. The ground looks like stairs as it descends deeper into this blackness. The rest of the ground is more or less destroyed, right? It's thick undergrowth, completely covers the sector. It's kind of like you feel your boots get like caught, like the strings of your new steel toe boots, right, getting caught in the underbrush.
Yeah.
You see that outside of this tunnel are roll me a d6.
Oops.
There are 5 fresh graves, shallow, dirt-covered mold over the top of them, and you hear a low, grumbling moan coming from inside the tunnel. It doesn't sound hurt. It doesn't sound aggressive either. It's just like a low, like, just kind of happening. Also, you can smell nearby that there's some kind of like fetid water. You're not sure if it's rot water, some kind of swamp, or what it is, but you can smell it. That you know, that like gross kind of like dirty water smell. You're pretty sure that inside this tunnel is enough cover and concealment that you guys could rest.
I'm going to do a know the zone to try and figure out what that noise is.
Okay. Go ahead.
Can we all make that?
I'm going to say he can because you guys are barely hanging on right now.
Okay.
Okay, interesting. As you kind of move closer to try to figure out what that is, it doesn't actually sound like a moan. It doesn't sound like a humanoid or like a monstrous kind of groan. This sounds like Like, you've heard this same kind of noise on the Ark, either when the screw turners are building things, or, like, sometimes when they're trying to, like, patch over the break in the Ark.
Okay.
So this sounds like metal grinding. Like, or bending.
I sit them down.
Mm-hmm. If you're outside of the hole, it's very exposed, but inside is... I mean, you haven't been inside yet, but you assume...
I want to try and read the sign. That's a comprehend, right?
There is no sign. There's like a metal, like a signpost. There's nothing on it.
Oh, but there's no actual sign.
Yeah, there's no actual sign. And there's like a large like covering that leads down into a hole.
So Hector's going to go and grab a branch or something to stick something on the ground.
Okay.
And he's going to rip off a piece of his jacket and wrap it around it. And then he's going to take one of the tinder twigs, and light it, and make it a torch. And then he just sort of pats Garrett on the shoulder and says, "If I don't come back, it really has been pleasure." And he hoists his axe up and he goes into the cave.
Are you sure?
Nope.
And Garrett kind of lets himself fall off Mac and points at Mac and points right at Hector. And Mac is going to follow you.
Okay, cool. I like that.
Hector's trying to remember an old hymn that he had seen in one of the old archives. And he's just going in.
Beeline's down there. Okay, cool. So the way we'll play Mac is I will allow you to roll Sick a Dog when necessary, Garrett.
Me?
Yeah. No, Garrett, you can roll Sick a Dog when necessary. And then I'm going to have Hector roll a Comprehend to see if you can figure out what the hell Mac's trying to tell you. Depending on what Mac finds and the number of successes, it'll be easier or harder.
Okay.
So you have the torch, you have Mac by your side, you descend down, and your steel-toe boots clack, 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 and it sort of like echoes off the walls as you descend down the stairs into this cavernous, dark building. You kind of hold the torch aloft, and you see that you are on some kind of like stone long platform that goes probably a good like 15, 20 feet. I mean, granted, you don't have a good measurement system overhead. 15, 20 feet wide. There are large, like, metal columns that kind of go, and this thing goes deep, right? And where the platform that you're on ends, it sort of drops down a good 10 feet. And you see that as you're holding the torch aloft, these two alcoves that kind of drop down to the side, they just go. They just go for like ever. And if you turn around, they go in the other direction for just as long. What they are, you're not entirely sure. Where these tunnels go, you're not sure. But nothing looks nefarious here. There's no blood. There's no like gore. You can still kind of hear that metal groaning kind of noise. But again, it doesn't seem like it's like hostile. And are you gonna like search around this place more, or how are you approaching this place now?
Platform? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it's defensible. Like if I can get the guys here and get them sheltered for a bit so we can rest.
Sure.
And then I can worry about trying to get them the rest of the way home.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of walk around this platform. Like I said, those tunnels, those would be very hard to defend if something like came down it, because they're massive, wide open, probably like 20 feet high by 20 feet wide tunnels, and there's technically 4 of them, right? So there's like 2 lines. So if you look, there's 2 in front of you and 2 behind you. It's like 2 solid lines. So that'd be very hard to defend against. However, from the surface, there's just that one staircase. Nothing is like jumping out at you here, although you do see every once in a while from your periffs, you see like you ever see someone take a photo and you see the ghosts that are in the photos, those little light, the little fuzzballs? You can see like something out of the corner of your eye, you see like a fuzzball, like boop, and then like when you go to look at it, it disappears. And then you see like another one out of the corner of your eye, and then you look for it and it disappears. It's like trying to track the one when you get like the little fuzzy in your eye liquid.
Yeah.
It's like trying to find one of those, and it just disappears. But you see them anytime you're looking around. You see like a light, like boop, and then disappear as you go. They don't seem to be malicious. They just seem to be appearing and disappearing around you. What they're doing, you're not entirely sure. They just move away anytime you look towards them.
Was there anything else out front? You said there was like a cage. Was there like any
there's
carts or anything?
There's like here's like a staircase down. There's like a metal cage over the staircase. Like you had to go into the metal cage to walk down.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to that area. See if I can make it defensible. Because there's the one way up and basically one way in.
Yeah. You can make the entrance way defensible enough that you feel secure staying here.
Okay.
The only thing you can't really defend against is those massive tunnels inside.
Yeah. So I go back out and I get the guys and I get Mac to bring Garrett. It's not much, boys, but at least in this section I can try and keep you safe. Down below is some sort of tunnel network, but I'm not going down too many ways to get lost. And he puts the torch up in the wall, and he goes about setting it up so it's defensible.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to take you a few hours to do that because you're kind of moving by yourself. Fortunately, you're a big, strong man, and you can easily grab chunks of things to put these things in here. So you can do that. It takes probably an hour, 2 hours to get that all done. Defensible enough that you're confident. You can make it more so if you so choose, but you feel like it's good enough to bring your friends down there.
Yeah. So he does that, and then he puts them in the most defensible area.
Yep.
And he just puts the torch up, and he basically would put himself between where anybody would come up or come in and them.
Okay. Cool.
And then he's like, I have to sleep, guys. You probably should too. And he tries to check his rations and stuff to eat.
And as that happens, as I'm going to put down next to Mac, Garrett will nuzzle Mac's face a little bit and just tell him, give him a look around, sense something. What can you scout?
Okay, so you want to have him have Max scout around. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Roll me a sick dog.
Okay. So 4 plus. All right.
Let's see here. Okay, so you can ask me. Okay, so you're able to make out what it is. It appears to be a threat. Okay, so you can scout this area out. You see all the same things that Hector saw, right? You see Mac sort of goes down these things. He hops down, goes in the tunnel, goes the other tunnel, hops back up, goes through all 4 tunnels. And he kind of comes back to you and nuzzles towards you in a way that it's safe here, right? You can ask me one additional question about the area because you have 2 successes. So what one question would you like?
Did he find the source of the gears grinding noise? If that makes sense?
I didn't.
He did not.
Okay.
He did not. Yeah. I will say this. Now that you've been down here, right? I'll say because you got the extra scout, you kind of have a vague inclination of what this might be. You've heard rumors in the Hung Moose about there being secret tunnels underneath the zone, and you think this might be an entry point to those secret tunnels. Where they go, where they come from, you're not entirely sure, what that means, but you think this might be an entrance point to whatever these secret tunnels are.
And I look over at Hector after I'm playing with Garrett, nuzzling his face, or playing with Max, sorry, no, good boy.
You can nuzzle Hector, he's fine with it.
Good boy. I'm look up at Hector. Like I said, like I said, information is power.
Does he laugh like that too?
We'll say he has like a bit of a triumphant, like little chuckle, like.
That's awesome.
And after that, does Garrett inform everybody about this particular thing that Max found?
I think at this point he's just gonna trust you all, like saying like this is it. He may have found one of the secret tunnels we've been hearing rumors about.
Okay, so I mean, I think that's something again Riven would take note of in his journal, and then proceed to make notes of for the hung moose, so that we can come back to this area later and maybe investigate further. What he would like to do is, Mike, mechanically, what does healing accomplish? Like a heal roll.
So a heal roll, you can mend the broken. A person who suffered a trauma to reduce any of their 4 attributes to 0 is broken and cannot carry on. If you successfully heal a broken person, he gets back to his feet and immediately recovers a number of attribute points equal to the number of 6s you rolled.
So he would like to attempt to, in a sense, I guess it would be like physician heal thyself.
Sure.
And try and heal himself in this case.
So what I will say is you are in a safe place right now, and the easiest way to heal yourself is everyone needs sleep, food, and water. 1 ration of food will give you 1 strength back. 1 ration of water will give you 1 agility back. Sleep will restore all of your wits, and I don't think anyone has taken empathy damage. So the easiest way is for all of you to eat, drink, and sleep for 4 hours.
That's Hector's plan right now.
Yeah. To do that, you need to roll your grub die and your water die. This could be your last grub.
I'm going to roll my grub right now just so I can feel a little less.
Yep. It'll be a D6. I think all of you are a D6, except for Hector. I think you're a D8.
Yeah, I think you put me a D8.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm good.
You are good. So the first one, the first one is Garrett. Garrett, you eat, you're fine. Hector, you eat, you're fine. Riven, you also eat, and you are fine. All of you regain 1 strength. And Kotan, you also regain 1 strength. You all also need to do the same thing for water as well. So if everyone wants to roll me another D6 for water.
So would this affect anything with me being a light eater?
No, light eater means you can eat every other day, right?
Okay.
So like if you don't, so the same way that you guys didn't sleep, right? If you don't eat, you cannot recover strength points at all, right? So if your strength was 0 and you were starving, and Riven tried to heal you, you still could not recover any points because you cannot do that on an empty stomach. Everyone drank water, it looks like, and you're all set except for Garrett. I think I need one D6 from you as well.
Sure. I don't think, because would I still not have any? I think I took any agility damage.
You still need to drink water every day, or you have that same sleepless effect. You become dehydrated.
Oh yeah, so I'll roll then. Watch, this is where I
don't say it.
You're fine. See, the downside to that is if you run out of water, or you don't have water, or whatever, and you need to continue drinking water every day, you now have to rely either on your friend's water, or you rely on drinking a puddle in the zone, which is rot water, which gives you rot. So, it gets pretty brutal. So all of you recover 1 strength. All of you recover 1 agility if you need to, and you sleep for 4 hours. In that 4 hours, all of your wits go back to full wits. 4 hours passes. You guys all stir. I assume like Mac kind of nudges, Garrett awake. Hector wakes up eventually, and you guys are safely in this dark tunnel lit by what is left of the cinders of that torch, kind of hanging in a makeshift sconce made by Hector. What are you guys doing? It was dawn when you went in here, so it's about 4 hours later.
He would roll this time. He would, since he's actually regained 1 out of his 2 strength points.
Yep.
He would want to attempt to heal that 1 strength point that he is missing.
Okay. So the way heal works is you can use it to mend the broken, right? So like if one of them went down to 0 and you didn't have 0, you can get them back up. Or
Gotcha.
if one of them has a critical injury, you can try to help the critical injury.
Which
so
I
it says-
don't think anybody does anymore, right?
You do, and Garrett does. Yours lasts for 3 days, and Garrett has one for 10 days.
Yes.
So the way it works is there's an ability called Save a Life. The most important use of the heal skill is to give first aid and stabilize critical injuries, which might save your patient's life. A failed roll in this situation could kill them, so be careful. So you can roll to get rid of the whatever malady is affecting you guys.
Okay.
Riven,
well,
what's your total heal skill and empathy?
total heal skill in empathy is 4 because I get a +1 from my faction bonus, so it was 3, and then I pushed 1 more because of the faction bonus. Plus my empathy is 5.
So it's pretty good.
So it's 8?
Should be
It's 9.
9.
9. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I didn't want the math up to it. I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
Should be
Don't
9.
you have like bone saw or something as well?
I
Because
don't-
you're,
That's one you can choose. I chose agitator as my talent.
So what I'll do, because my heal skill, which I oddly have, and I can't remember why I took it, is only 3. So I'd like to help him, because Hector has some medical knowledge, I assume, from stitching himself back together after things have gone wrong, and try and help him do his thing, and then get him to help Garrett as well.
Okay, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the way aid works is you roll your thing, and if you succeed, you give him a bonus dice.
Okay.
I think that's how that works. Actually, that doesn't make any sense. It should just be if you help him, you give him a bonus dice.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's what it is. We'll go with that. So you're going to aid him. That makes yours go from a 9 Riven to a 10.
Okay.
And I'll say you're going to aid him 3 times, or 2 times, right? Because you're going to try to heal yourself, Riven, and try to heal Garrett.
Yep.
would I be able to also assist him?
Only 1 can assist.
Oh, okay.
That'll be 5 empathy. Skill dice is 5.
I seriously can't remember why I took that skill.
It's a good skill. Cool. So who are you working on first, Riven? Yourself or Garrett?
I'll work on Garrett, considering mine's only 3 days and his is 10.
Okay.
So-
So 1 success means that you have halved his recovery time. So now your recovery time is 5 days, Garrett, as opposed to 10.
Okay.
And you may do that again if you'd like for yourself, Riven.
Yep. I will do so again at 10 or at 9.
At 10.
Okay.
Thank God Hector's not a proctologist.
Right.
Oof, that's a bit better.
Okay. Jeez. We'll say with 3 successes, you are able to, realign whatever the hell's wrong with your upper body, and you are recovered from that. So the -3 you would normally take to fight and force, you no longer take that.
Okay. And so Riven basically has, a decent job as a chiropractor then.
Yeah, you've invented chiropractic services. That's the word.
You're an
Those are-
osteopath.
those are
Gary
words.
got one hell of a foot massage.
Yeah. Yep. You're tingly all over. So like I said, it was dawn when you guys got in here. So it's been about 4 hours. So it's probably like mid-morning. What are you guys doing? Are you returning? Are you going back to the Metal Men, or are you returning back to the Ark where it's safe and not full of rot?
I
I
think we're probably going to return to the Ark, right?
I think we gotta.
You sure?
I
Return. We don't have a I don't think we have a choice.
We don't have a chance to survive.
I'm not giving you a choice. We're going back.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
sure?
there's-
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Hey.
there's no way we could survive out there.
And Garrett
Another
will,
day. Definitely not.
And Garrett will definitely repeat, like, the info is still valuable. This isn't a lost cause. Like, definitely trying to keep some rallying with people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other thing is too, Riven's we've already come across like 3 different spots or 4 different spots that are valuable.
Yeah.
Potential.
And closer.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
less deadly. Well,
Maybe.
I mean,
I don't like that smirk, Mike. I don't like that.
I mean, explore them on your way back. Find out. Information's power, right? So Hector,
Don't you use my words against me.
What do you mean? So Hector, who is forcibly guiding the party, where are you going?
Okay, so firstly, who's still broken? Garrett?
Everyone is no longer broken.
Yeah.
Garrett has a critical injury, but he is.
Yeah, I recovered a strength, so I'm pretty sure I'm no longer broken.
Yeah, you guys can all walk of your own volition now.
Okay.
Although, because I'm still losing a strength, I think I'm still not really leaning on Mag, but like Mag is definitely, because Mag is pretty huge.
Yeah.
I'm probably still he's probably still helping me along a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where the plane was. Shit.
I'm thinking northeast.
I'll give you this. The plane is. There's no reason to hide this from you guys. The plane is right here. Click. Plane's right there.
Okay.
Where were the 3 initial buildings? Was it around here?
Which 3 buildings?
Like the 3 buildings, like the 3 towers.
stacks.
Yeah.
3 stacks.
The 3
yeah.
stacks was right here.
Okay.
So Riven's going to suggest, I think we should head back towards the Ark. Maybe check out that area of the 3 stacks.
Yes, it did not have rot, so it won't kill us.
It did have rot, just not as strong as you had been.
Oh,
That's
guessing.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, the
So
whole
players-
zone has rot.
Yeah, the plane had a lot more rot.
Yes.
Hector takes off his hockey mask. Look, I'm not going to tell you this, guys. I did not bring you back here to get you back to health, to go gallivanting off into something else. We're going back to the Ark. We're going to get our rot fixed. And if you got an argument to it, I can huff you from the fucking balcony. Are we clear? Because the only reason any of you boys live is because of me. And I'll be happy to reverse that.
Plans here.
Yeah, there's always next time we can check that out. Let's just go back home.
And he puts the mask back down. Go home. And he just starts out again.
And there is like an inner voice, like maybe the audience will hear like something out of Garrett's mind, like, how the hell he kept this from me? I have no fucking clue.
Well, your character isn't the smartest apple in the bunch, so.
True.
I'm not gonna take that away. I'm not gonna fight that one.
So, Hector, where are you going? Where are you forcing this march?
We've got 2 squares.
You know
Northeast
that
of
this,
us.
You know that this
Don't
is
know.
the plane.
Yeah.
This is the factory. I mean, this is the building
Right.
with pillars.
And we've got 2 squares directly northeast of us. We don't know what's in them.
Correct.
Yep.
If it's daytime, if one of them's at random building, we know it's gonna be at least safe because we're no longer there. It's not night anymore.
That was quite a way. That was a ways away down, like
Was it?
southeast.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not near the skin den.
Yeah.
So Hector will move us here.
Okay. Cool. Roll me a threat of 2.
I think we're good.
You are good. How quickly are you moving through this? Are you just trying to like bull rush through these things, or are you trying to move like cautiously and, take your time kind of thing?
Well, Hector can't really move quietly or anything like that.
Yep.
He's too big. He's too lumbering. He's just. But he knows how exposed to rot they are, and he knows that if we don't get back, if we're exposed to too much rot again, we're gonna die.
Okay.
So he's not exploring anything. He's keeping an eye out, but he knows the rough direction of the Ark. He's going right for it.
Okay. I will say this. The only thing of note you see in this sector is there is so it's a lot of more of those vines, but no flower buds on them this time. You see one still standing building. The building looks to be like grayish white. You're not sure if it was painted at one point, but it seems to be fairly sturdy, although wooden, and by all means should not be standing. It looks like what you've seen pictures of houses kind of look like. And there is a large, like, square tower on the top front of it. Like, here's the door. It kind of goes up, and there's like a tower here, and there is something hanging inside of it. Some kind of like metal device is hanging inside of this thing. You're not really sure what it is from this distance. If you'd like to explore it in there, you can, or you can just sort of go right past this thing and not worry about it. It's up to you.
I point right at Mac.
To go see what that thing is?
Just scout.
Yeah.
Okay,
Scout. Okay, 1 second.
Sick of that.
Hector looks to Riven. Mark on map thing.
Very well. Pulls out his journal, starts scribing.
Mac bounds forward, diving through the vines and stuff. He's getting more and more used to them. He gets to this building, and he kind of like nudges around, like he sniffs around the place, and you see him walk up to the door, and he kind of nudges at the door, and one of the doors creaks open, and you can kind of see a little bit into like this dark room. You can kind of see light streaming in. You assume there's windows on the sides of it, but Mac sort of nudges the door and like sniffs around, and then looks back to you, and you see him wag his tail again. He doesn't see anything bad in here.
We could find supplies.
Safe.
Can Hector see the Ark from here? Because, I mean, the Ark's a huge dam.
Roll me a scout. I'll say that. Roll me a scout. Because, I mean, it is several miles away. Yes, you can see the Ark. You can see the Ark.
We've got about 12 hours travel. And that's all he says.
I think if we can press on, like if we can take a look at this now, it might prove useful.
It is odd that this is so close to the Ark. And what is that contraption in the tower?
So can we see what it is? There is the position where this thing is?
Where the thing in the tower is?
Yeah.
You can see that there is something in the tower, but what it is you can't see from where you are. You'd have to go up to it and find out.
Okay.
Yeah. Kotan will definitely slowly make his way up there.
Yep.
What's Hector doing?
He's waiting to see what you and Garrett are doing, because he's already made it clear what he feels about Kotan.
I think Garrett is... Well, Garrett's moving up. Because he's trying to get to Max. So he goes up. He's like, again, nuzzling Max's face, like playing with him.
Yep.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Hector just shakes his head and moves up to it.
Okay. So you're all essentially moving up towards this thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't worry, nothing bad's gonna happen. So you guys move in, and you kind of creak the door open. It is like wooden. It's like a shitty wooden door. Inside, you see a lot of like dilapidated wood and scrap. It looks like there have been like various people camped here over time. You see that there's like several like old campfires, right? All of them cold in different places around here. You see like different like, you know, bits of grub, like canned food, or like a water bottle or something like that, right? So it looks like this has been a safe haven for probably stalkers, right? The This place is wooden. The wooden floor kind of like groans and creaks as you move across this thing. A lot of the debris and detritus have been like shoved off to the sides. But you see the thing goes back like a good 30 or 40 feet, and there's a couple stairs that raise up to like a higher platform. And the higher platform has like a podium on it and like 2 long tables towards the back of it they look like they had things on them at one point, but they were probably scavenged. Once you walk inside and turn around, you can see there's a staircase that leads up to that tower.
Yeah, Kotan's definitely going up there. He wants to try and figure out what this device is.
Okay.
Hector stops him for a second. Look. Don't strike. Don't pull anything. Not in a position to fight.
Of course, I'm a scientist.
As they're
You're
talking,
an idiot.
Garrett points Mac up the stairs.
Okay, so Mac sort of goes up the stairs. I mean, he can't relay back what that device is, but he can go up the stairs. And you hear like a boom. But it's like an all clear kind of noise.
Garrett walks up.
Yeah.
Hector's going to search around downstairs. Is that just like a scout in this?
No, what are you searching for?
Just seeing if there's anything left behind, any old rations, bedding, anything like that.
It doesn't look like, so you kind of like toss this room, you kind of move through you sift through everything. You do find like scraps of rations. So the way that the resource die works, right, is if you find enough rations to increase your dice from an 8 to a 10 in your case, that's what would happen. Here you find scraps. You find like 1 can of food, right, but it's not enough to increase your dice from 8 to 10. Okay. It's not enough to increase anyone's die pool. There is like old canned food. It looks like what you do find out is it looks like the last person to have stayed here was likely to be months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Riven heads upstairs as well, and he'd like to do a comprehend on the machine that would be up there.
Okay, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'll definitely roll that as well because he's really looking for that.
Yeah, you guys can totally do
Hector,
Can I try
Hector looks upstairs and then looks at the size of him.
Yep.
And then decides he's probably not going to fit up there with the other 3 there.
That's a fair assessment. Brahms, that's a 1. John, that's a 1.
I'm gonna push myself.
Go for it.
I'm going to try as well for comprehend.
Okay.
To see if I get anything. Well, Garrett has an idea, at least, it seems.
Yeah. Let's see here. So, you guys see that this is a large, like, domed metal object that seems to have once hung here. It works on a series of levers and pulleys and gears that would make this thing sort of reverberate. It looks like it was some kind of early warning sign. Perhaps if this, whatever the ancients used this building for, perhaps if it were under attack, you could make this thing work and it would sound an alarm that would let people know, hey, we're under attack, maybe? That's kind of what you get out of this thing. For you, Kotan, you can piece together how to rig this thing back up. If you had a gearhead with you, you would be able to get this thing back up into the tower where it should be mounted. But you're able to figure out how to do that. You just need you need someone to assist you in getting it actually done.
Yeah. Like, how does it run? Is there something that's in the center of it or is it just like big metal ball that
so if it were actually functional, it would be hung in something and the series of gears and pulleys would sort of like make it rock back and forth. You imagine there was something inside of it that would clang on it to make it work. That piece is missing.
Okay.
So,
Is there any side rooms or anything down in the main foyer?
There is. Towards the back where those 2 long tables were, where the podium is, there's a single room back there. If you kind of open the door, it smells very musty and like dank. This looks like it could have been a bedroom at one point. There's no actual furniture in here. You assume, much like the rest of the furniture that might have been in here, that it was probably used to burn. But it looks like it has the dress... Excuse me. It looks like it has the dressings of what could have been like a small bedroom or a living quarters of some kind.
So I think once Garrett realizes what it is, he kind of goes down.
Yep.
And goes talk to Hector. Information is power. This place may have been from the ancients as a warning system. Think of what the forerunners would give for this, or do with it.
Forerunners enjoy.
I'm like trying to say like we could make something out of this.
That could be true. This could be a place the Foreigners could fortify into an area. The way that would work mechanically is that's a new project that could be started by the people.
I think that's probably the best idea to go with.
We give it to the we give it to the forerunners. Think of what they would give us for another forward for 5 base.
Hector starts thinking about all the things they found today and everything that the Union's going to want to look into. And he just sort of hangs his head and goes, goodbye, vacation.
All he wanted was a day off. So, do you guys continue heading back towards the Ark?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Hector, since you're leading everyone this time, go ahead and move your token wherever you'd like to. And as you guys can see, now that you've discovered places on the map, they have begun to miraculously appear as if by some kind of magic all over the map. It's the weirdest thing. Roll me a threat 2 here.
We're safe.
You are safe. In fact, neat. You see there is a sign similar to the one you made, Hector. First you notice, you feel like it's a breath of fresh air in here. And you see a sign. And since none of you are stalkers, I'll take a comprehend from anyone who would be interested. You see the sign, Hector, and you can easily point it out to somebody. What does give you pause, however, is that there are several trees here that look like they're more or less dead, except on them are big, bright-colored flowers. Those of you who rolled comprehend... Holy shit. Those of you who rolled comprehend, and apparently the genius
what was that about Garrett not being very smart?
That's apparently the genius that is Garrett. So Garrett, I'm going to give you this. So you all notice that the sign is a symbol for a rot oasis. This is a rot-free zone. This sector here has no rot contamination whatsoever, which leads Garrett to believe that these flowers are not nightmare flowers and just pretty scenery, and not a threat to you. It just looks very beautiful, and this is a happy place to take a sleep in. You also notice
Garrett will be just happily walking through.
Yeah. You also notice that there's a very small, probably like 10 by 10, like a 10-foot diameter. That's the word, yeah. Pond here. It doesn't seem to be contaminated by rot. If you can find a way to get this get this water or get people back and forth here, you may have a water source, a closer water source than the pure plant.
What if we what if we could like fill the bell up with water or something?
Hector just...
I don't think we have anything with us that's going to help right now.
No.
this is something we'd have to make a project of.
Yep.
And then learn to siphon it back to the Ark. Although having it as closer than the pure plant, which is quite a ways off, is way better.
Yeah. The pure plant, however, produces water. That's the difference.
Yeah.
It produces and purifies. So
Only thing I'd be worried about is that this water would run out.
Well, yeah.
And it probably will, but again, it's closer, so it makes it a better even emergency source if we really needed to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean the big dependency, and we'd have to send in a gearhead and a chronicler, would be, is it spring fed from below? And
Yeah.
that would tell us.
Yeah.
And then we have to know if anybody in the Ark actually knows anything about geology.
Yeah.
Would I be able to attempt to decipher whether or not it's spring fed, Mike?
You would. So the easiest way for anyone to do that is to dive in and find out.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, geology is above your knowledge level currently. So the way knowledge kind of works in the zone, especially in the Ark, is you guys have development levels, which yours are astronomically low right now, which is why everyone's dying. The more things you do to develop the Ark, the smarter and more efficient and better everyone gets, right? So, like, let's say an item has, like, a development level. It has a level of 10, right? So, like, you find an artifact, it has a level of 10. If your tech level, or whatever level that's applicable, is 10 or higher, you just know what that does, right? So the reason you guys have to roll comprehend over and over again for all kinds of things is because you don't know how shit works. So the better you make the Ark, the more shit you guys just know. So you can get to a level in which geology is a possibility. However, currently not.
Yeah, and I don't think the fact that we're contaminated with rot, it would help by jumping into
Might
No,
not.
that would.
single pool.
Yeah,
of
that might make it a lot
fresh water.
worse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It could make you
Is that-
very clean.
That actually is a possible way of doing it. Yeah.
Who knows?
Garrett thinks about it for a second, like, nah, no,
Yeah.
too valuable.
Better if we
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. In
Okay.
that case, Hector, do your worst, best, whatever.
That thing.
So you guys return. I'll let you scooch right back to the Ark. This is a safe zone. This is an area previously scouted by so the areas immediately around the Ark don't have anything of import because you guys have had enough time to go out there and search them, right? You guys return, albeit empty-handed, back to the Ark. You have fought your way through the zone to where you believe the metal men were. However, you were unable to find these metal men. The mystery of this battlefield lives for another day. However, you did find all kinds of things. You found a strange building with smokestacks. You found an early warning system. You found a rot oasis with a pond in it. You found this massive metal tube that seems to have fell from the sky. You found whatever the skin den is, although that one had been discovered a few times before. And you found an area that you should clearly avoid, that being the nightmare flowers. So you have what you lack in physical components and artifacts you have made up for in a treasure trove of information for future generations of explorers. You guys return, heads hung a little bit low for not having found any metal men or pieces thereof, back to the safety of the Ark, where you can decontaminate yourselves over the course of a few days, have some good grub, and tell the tales of your woes, successes, and failures.
But we not tell those tales yet.
You know,
Maybe
you can
not
do
the
whatever you
woes.
like.
Yeah.
What that means for everyone else. This brings this second episode to a close, The Metal Men. And to hear more of these tales, check out our Discord, where these guys will be role-playing over the next few days to tell all the other adventurers inside the Ark what they have found, so that these adventurers can go form a party and venture out and solve those mysteries themselves. If you guys want to be a part of that, please subscribe here or go check out our Patreon at the $5 tier. That's the easiest way to support the channel. It's also the only way to become a player here. This is a West Marches game. We have 20, I think, something players. So we're going to be doing...
17.
Yeah, we have a shitload.
Something like that. And how many people have more than one? I know at least one person has at least two.
Several people
I have
have more
two.
than one, yeah. So yeah, that's going to be really cool. So definitely check that out. There's a roleplay section in the Discord that we use to plan who's going on what adventure, why they want to go, all that kind of stuff. There's a scheduling thing. We're going to do this on Saturdays, sometime during Saturday. We're trying to leave some leniency for time schedules and different time zones and things like that. That being said, guys, thank you for being here for episode 2. Let's go around and introduce you guys and get your thoughts on your first session of Mutant Year Zero and your first time in the Ruined Nation. We'll start with Brahms. Brahms, you are a fan favorite here on the channel. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of Ruined Nation?
I love this system. That's fun. Brutal, but don't go out at night, kids.
Yeah.
If we learned one thing, don't go out the dark forest at night, or the zone, because it will eat you, or you'll get, spat at by nightmare flowers and it'll suck your blood.
Those are almost deadly. I'm so, like, all of you, I'm so impressed. Not only did I think all of you succeeded your comprehend roll, but all of you succeeded your move rolls too.
Yeah,
That's an easy guess.
I was pretty pleased because now I'm going to work that into RP at some point with my rival / thing.
Yeah.
So that was a really fun little. As much as we didn't get anything, I think just finding all the stuff we found was really, really good.
For sure.
Get info and street cred.
Yeah. So I'm Leppy83. You can find me around here. I'm also doing an Emberwind campaign on this coming Thursday on Arvin Eleron's channel, which is running concurrently to Mike's campaign. That did not suffer the TPK that my current party did suffer.
We can't all win.
No. At least I didn't. At least we all didn't TPK here. So that's one plus.
It's close.
You're welcome.
It was close.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was
Thank you,
close.
Hector.
Yeah, I think if Hector had gone, because like Broken is you're essentially dead, right? But I think if Hector hadn't been here to drag you guys on, that would have been a TPK. Had Hector
probably.
gone down, that would have been it for you guys. That being said, let's jump over to Hector. Let's go over to James here. Who are you? Where can we find you, James? And what did you think of your first foray into the zone?
I am James Leslie. I do writing for Mike here at unMadeGaming. I also do writing for Nerdarchy, and I do moderation for Nerdarchy's YouTube channel and stuff as well, and their Discord. So you'll see me bouncing around between Discords. I got stuff in the works. Hopefully everything pans out, and you'll see me back here with something else that I'll run by Mike at a later time. So just stalk me around here. I thought it was a great system. It's so refreshing from like D&D and Pathfinder and stuff. I would put it at a tie right now for one of my favorite systems between that and Savage Worlds. So I'm kind of on par there.
Nice.
This is my first West Marches style game, and this is kind of neat. I kind of wish the things popped up a lot quicker because my memory's not as good as it used to be. Kids, if you get hit in the head a lot, don't do martial arts. Not a good thing. But I loved it. I thought it was great fun.
Nice. I will say the caveat to that, James, is the more people we have interested, the more often we play. So the more chat there is, the more new player groups that are forming ready to do adventures, the more often we play. Right now it's about once a month, but I'm hoping to make it bi-weekly if we have enough interest for that. That being said, we'll jump over to Kotan John himself. John, who are you, where can we find you, and what did you think of Ruined Nation?
Yeah, I'm John. I'm always lurking on Mike's Discord, calling him out for random shit. Yeah. Right now I'm having a few games on the Saver Dice Discord. Maybe we'll stream them at some point. We're not totally sure yet. But yeah, I love this system so far. It's really fun playing a brutal kind of game, whereas like D&D you can't really die. So
It's true.
we had a couple of close calls, and I thought everyone here did a great job.
I can prove you wrong on the D&D one.
It's just very hard to die. It's very
Yeah,
easy to die in
yeah.
this game.
But yeah, I thought cast did great so far. I mean, Mike was okay, but
Yeah, I try to at least maintain an okay level.
yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That being said, Bill, last but not least, who are you, where can we find you, and what did you think of Mutant Year Zero?
Twitches and Discords. I hang out in a lot of the D&D community Discords. Mad Rogue, so if you guys saw that in the chat, Mad Rogue 25, that's actually me. If you're interested in a little bit more post-apocalyptic stuff, actually you can come see me this Monday on the Spartacus Academy, where I'm going to be in their Monster of the Week campaign,
Nice.
Last Nights on Earth.
Nice.
So come see that. Like I said, I'm trying to be a little bit more involved in Mike's Discord a little bit more. So feel free to hit me up. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I like to be pretty involved. And well, interesting little factoid about me. I'm admittedly someone who is relatively new to RPGs in general, like within the last couple years. So one of my first any other non D&D games, and wow, I was like, no, I wrote such a huge backstory for him. I don't want him to die now. We made it. And
yeah, right. You do have like a novel of a backstory to have him die his first play session out. That's the shit kicker about West Marches. Is like it's really easy to die in West Marches in general, right? You can easily stumble into a place where it's way more powerful than you have any right being, which is kind of cool.
And I was always really curious about West Marches. It was an interesting style to me. So actually being in one, I'm loving it. I'm like, this is actually a really cool factor. And the factions aren't really a normal thing with it, I know, but I think I would love to see further down the line if this is going to be like in something interesting. I mean, I think if anyone watches the chat, you might have picked up something between me and Hector, like that has to do with the faction stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the factions are pretty cool. I like that, and I'm interested to see how the projects pick up, right? Because there's like other things, like we modified the projects from the actual rulebook so that they now require quests. So like to build the Palisades, they need you to go out and find scrap and bring it back. So like since no one's done that, there are still no Palisades. That's why people are dying, because there's no food, right? So it's very interesting to see how that kind of goes, where the players prioritize like finding new things and bringing them back to the Ark, or building food, or building like a farm, or finding water, or that kind of thing. So that's super interesting. I'm super excited for that. But yeah, thank you guys for playing. Thank you for being the second team out in Ruin Nation. Guys, like I said, check the Discord for when we are doing this. That'll be in the links down below for all that fun stuff. And if you want to be a part of this game, by all means, please check out our Patreon, also in the links down below. That's the best way to support the channel, the best way to get part of this. And the higher you back, the more cool shit you get. NPCs, art, all kinds of fun stuff. And with that, we're going to go raid our friends Encounter Roleplay. They're currently playing Unrestful Hearts. I believe that is... what is that? Is that their D&D game? I'm not sure what system it is. They're playing so many different goddamn...
It's actually a system that I think Grant Ellis made, right?
They're actually not playing Unrestful Hearts. They just didn't update their shit. They're playing Symbaroum, which is a game that I played here, and I freaking love. It's actually made technically now by the same company that makes this game. So definitely go check them out. Bagnova is running that game. Awesome guy. What time for Scrat's game, Mad Rogue? What's the time for that game?
Oh, sorry. It's... 1. It's 1.
Eastern?
Yes, I think he's switching to Eastern. Sorry if I can't. Sorry, I cannot remember sometimes. Because I live in Midwest, so it's different for me. But I think it is 1 Eastern Standard, because I think Scrat is starting to switch to Eastern Standard Time.
Nice. That being said, guys, thank you for checking us out. We hope to see you on the Discord. Hope to see you on the Patreon. From all of us to you guys, bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.